I definitely wore a Band-Aid right here on my eye
Yes.
for a few years. I did it. It was at least like 1 year in high school. Everyone's like, "You're gonna take it off." I'm like, "Oh my God, are you okay?"
Wait,
like,
you
what
like every
happened?
day? Woo! All right, everybody. This is Maiwan here at Dash Radio on the Walk of Fame. Today we have a very unique artist. Just dropped a great project, IV4. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm well. How are you?
Doing well, doing really well, because I got to listen to Get Rich and Cry Trying all morning.
Thank you. Thank you. It's such a vibe. I feel like it definitely matches his perfect ass day.
It does.
Yeah.
It's such a mature album. I'll say, like it's
you.
very mature. Even the sound of it. But I was really reminded of like that Genuine, like that Timberland Genuine
hell
kind
yeah.
of vibe, especially on Stroke. That really felt like a
Yeah.
Genuine song to me, almost.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up listening to like a lot of like R&B and like the slow jams, and my mom always played that stuff. So I feel like there's definitely a big piece of that type of music that like resides in me. And I feel like Stroke is like almost like a combination. It's like a brain baby of like back then and kind of like my new alternative stuff.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of that golden age of R&B, but then the way you experiment with your voice and just the whole project, I was shocked because I went to her album release party before I heard it.
Right.
Going to your album release party, I'm like, oh, she's crazy. I'm just like, you're just like off the wall, you know?
Right.
I knew for sure you weren't like the normal cookie cutter, just human being in general or artist. But then when I heard the project, you weren't like screaming. I don't know why I thought you were gonna be screaming. Do you get that a lot?
Do I
people?
look like I scream?
I think the event. So everyone
Oh, yeah,
knows
the
what I'm
event was
talking about. She had an incredible album release event. There was strippers galore. There was
Strippers and skateboarders and tattoos.
tattoo
and
artists. Even your camera guy. I don't know if you did this on purpose. You hired a video dude who looked like he was straight from like the band Kiss.
Yeah.
Walking around like with tattoos and the whole
yeah.
ambiance. I thought you were gonna be screaming. I don't know. So do people get shocked by your music, how it sounds?
I think so. I think that's like what's so fun about being me personally is people kind of expect me to be one type of way, and I always just kind of like left hook them. I mean, I feel like I started whenever back in like 2019, I was dropping music that was very like dark and alternative, and it was kind of on like that SoundCloud, you know,
Yeah, the
XXX
Juice WRLD
Tentacion.
kinda,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so all of that, like, it was kind of on that vibe, and that's where I was like at the time. But I was also making a lot of like R&B heavily. Actually, a few of the records that are on Get Rich and Cry Trying are from like 2019.
Oh.
So, but what was released is completely different from what is now. So I think when people see me, they kind of expect like the beginning thing that I was doing, or maybe like some
Yeah.
punk music, but they didn't expect me to be singing. A lot of people
No.
were like, I did not know you could sing.
I know, and you showcased it really well,
Right,
and even
thank you.
everything from the singing to the writing to the production was really big, and it just was
Yeah.
done very well. So
Thank you.
kudos to you.
Thank you.
First
I know,
project.
amazing team.
Yeah, I can imagine because that sounded like extremely just big. I guess is the best way to put it. All the production, it didn't sound like anything was just like done that fast or overnight.
Oh, thank you.
But the project was, I had read, so I was doing my research, which you know the web might be wrong, but you were actually looking to drop the project like 2019, right? Before the pandemic.
Yes.
Now I don't know if you know this, but that happened. This has happened to a few artists, like Lupe. Lupe's first album got leaked like 6 months prior. It was his like life's work. And what he ended up doing is in those 6 months, he took all the reviews and the critiques, and he like remastered the album. And then
Smart.
his first album came out being a classic. So did you feel like you got an opportunity over these 2 years to refine the album?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, like I always call myself like a pessimist or a pessimistic because like
I don't see it. You've been so positive ever
I
since
get that a
met
lot
you.
too. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, oh no, the world's crumbling around me. But then like a mystic part from the pessimistic is like, I'm like, nah, this was life's plan. Like we got it, and we kind of like work it together. But being able to see from that point has always allowed me to just like, you know, it's always up from here. So I don't know. It's pessimism, but I guess it's
Yeah. So you knew you could do something with that.
Yeah,
moment?
but I
Being
mean,
delayed.
I signed at the very tail end of like 2018. Like, I mean, the labels were closed. It was holidays. So 2019 was the top of the year. I had all these songs that I've been working on with, you know, Jordan Hollywood and the Wasted Youth that I've been putting together. And I was so excited. And they're like, you're going to put together some projects. And I thought, you know, I had like a really good idea of where I was at. And kind of just going through the process of just, changing and living here in LA and being signed to a major record label and things being put in play and pause, I did have the opportunity to kind of deconstruct and reconstruct my project with, I feel like more mature vocals and really cool features. Like I had Jeremih on it, and that was a lot of fun.
He killed that too.
Yeah, you gotta have like the.
That's like one of my favorite Jeremih features, or just hearing him on a song in a while.
Yeah, I mean he's killing it, and I'm super appreciative that he hopped on that song. It really just made it come together perfect. But I think it was a good thing, me dropping now. I feel like us coming out of quarantine and all kind of with like a new perspective on ourselves and kind of the music that we're wanting.
And I imagine, like you kind of alluded to it, the album would have sounded differently had it come out in 2019.
Oh yeah,
right, for
sure. Not that it wouldn't have been like a good project. It just definitely would have been different. And I have no patience. It's insane. Those 2 years, like it felt like 300 years. I'm like, I gotta go. And I'm glad that I took the time, because perfection takes time. And this is a project that I'm very proud of.
As you should be.
Thank you.
Super dope. How did you come up with the name Get Rich and Cry Trying? Obviously, it was inspired by 50, but how did you get your spin on it?
I remember Get Rich and Die Trying was one of the first album covers I had ever actually seen. Like, in the physical form. Like my friend had the CD, and I'm just like, I remember looking at it and I'm like, this guy, he looks tough. Just talking about it and just hearing it for the first time, and he's spitting real shit. Like you could tell it was him. So like, I feel like that's always something that I've liked personally, even though it's so different from the type of music.
Yeah.
It came to me like almost in a dream. I swear, like it wasn't like the full title, but I was just like so emotional in the dream, and it had to do with like, like the struggle of me doing this, which is almost real day, that I woke up and I'm just like, yo, I don't even know. I can't even give you like an actual thought of like how it came together. But Get Rich and Die Trying just feels like that was really him. And me, it's like Get Rich and Cry Trying. I'm very emotional. It's been a long wait.
It's a great way
myself.
Exactly, and to describe your journey. You've been, you've been trying to get rich, and you've been trying.
Right. I just like woke up and I was like, I got it.
I thought it fit. I thought it really fit. Even going to your event, just seeing how unique you were, how off the wall you were. Then I saw the name. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
No, of course. I appreciate you making such mature, just a good R&B. Not that there's like a lot of artists. I actually think we're getting a lot of great R&B these days, but not everyone's doing it in the manner of like the original R&B I fell in love with.
I think that's so cool. I mean, hip hop being our like newest and most popular like version of music, I do miss R&B, but it's like, and don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of like the old R&B. Like I grew up, it's nostalgic, I grew up to that. But I feel like R&B needs to be brought back, and I feel like the reason why it's not as trendy as it was is because we've grown and we've changed just as a group of people. I think R&B does need to be, modified a little bit, to kind of fit like our newer generations and
absolutely
the vibes.
Well, you fit. You're a really good bridge between like that generation of music and the younger, generation. Even stylistically, the way you seamlessly go from rapping to singing to sometimes it's like a really good, healthy mixture of both.
Thanks.
I think you're a great bridge. You're almost like a bridge between like the TikTok and the SoundCloud era, and then the era of CDs. You kind of bridge it all.
I'm like a big cluster of everything, and I just kind of drop it all out. And I'm so excited, like just to see like the full project. I mean, it took me actually a while. Like after my project came out, like was the first time that I could like woo-saw and just like listen to it as a collective, kind of outside of me. And I was like, this is really good. This is really good. Like, I mean, not that I didn't think it was good before, but whenever you're analyzing everything, and this is my first time putting a whole project together, there's so much work that goes into that, like behind the scenes that I had never realized. Oh my gosh.
Shoots.
Phone calls even. It's just so much. And so being able to just finally see it done and just kind of take it in, I'm like, this is exactly what I imagined.
That's amazing. Well, you've definitely done it. I think you've set the bar high for people who want to just be themselves. Right. You haven't really conformed. I don't see you sounding or looking like others.
Right.
But what I did want to ask you is, so your project, you mentioned, I want to say it was 2018 or 19, you did an interview, and you said you have songs coming out with Russ. You said you have songs coming out with Chris Brown. I think you mentioned Uzi, you might have mentioned. You mentioned like a handful of artists. And then when the project came out, there's Jeremih on there, which leads me to believe that you got some records in the vault. with some names.
do. I've got some crazy features, and honestly, like the original project was called Pessimistic. That's like something
really?
that's never
Spelled normally, or are you gonna
with
spell
a Y.
mystic?
Pessimistic, yeah.
Okay, I see that.
I feel like a lot of people didn't get it. I'm like, this is what it is, and they're like, I don't know how to read this. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm glad I got the feedback on it. But I mean, I had all of these features, you know, like Tory Lanez, Jeremih, Uzi, a Chris Brown feature. I just had all of these.
Tory too?
Tory.
Oh, damn.
I
You got
had-
like regular names.
Yeah,
These are,
and like
top 10 artists. You got like 4 or 5 of them in
it's
there.
so crazy because like these weren't A&R songs. These are people that like I've met out here in LA, and I feel like a big part of what's helped me in this process of just making music is that I'm myself and I'm from like bumfuck nowhere. Can I curse?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm trying my hardest not to.
Shout
I
out
curse so
St.
much.
Louis. No, you can curse. I was wondering.
Facts.
I was like, she's very well spoken, like polite. for
Right.
what-
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. So I mean, there's really nothing there. Like I feel like out here in California, there's so many distractions, there's so many opportunities. But where I'm from, it's like you know your neighbors. You know,
Yeah.
like you got to make the best of the people around you. So I feel like seeing that kind of back home energy really made people feel comfortable with me enough to be like, hey, you know what? Like, let me hear your music. Like, and I didn't have much out. And
Yeah.
once they heard what I could do, they were like, hell yeah, like hop on a
Wow.
track. You know?
You said something really interesting. I wanted you to break down for the people who are gonna watch this at home. You said none of these songs were A&R.
Yes.
Could you elaborate? I know exactly what that means. But could you elaborate what that means? Because you know, like
Right.
the young kids are gonna have no clue what that means.
I had no idea what it meant until I moved here. Like, I didn't know that people didn't write their own songs. I thought every artist wrote their own song.
Isn't that heartbreaking? That shit broke my heart.
It
when
broke
I
in my
found
heart
that
a
out,
little
too.
bit, but then, you know, actually who made me have, like, some kind of appreciation for that was, you know, Reba McEntire? Country singer,
Sounds familiar.
red hair. She has, like, her own TV show called Reba.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm from Missouri. There's a lot of country music there. So, like, I saw an interview one time my grandma sent me, and Reba was just like, I've never actually wrote any of my songs. And she's got, like, awards. I mean, same thing goes for, like, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he
and,
didn't write all
I
of
mean,
this stuff, and he wrote for
yeah.
others, and that's how it
Mhm.
works. But
Like, tons of people.
A&Ring, so the people know, because to me that was such a flex what you did there.
Oh.
Is like when
So,
the
yeah.
label puts it together, right?
Yeah, the label puts it together for you. You know, they find the song for you. They find the songwriter. You
I
just
think
go into the
Smino would
studio.
sound good on this, and they call Smino.
Yeah, and
he
they're
comes to
just
the
like,
studio.
hop on it, and they pay money and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
just like, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's a business.
but,
You feel
but
me?
yours
Like,
were organic. So from
Mhm.
Tory to Uzi
Mhm.
to shit, I know I'm blanking right now. Jeremiah
Yeah.
to Russ. These were all organic relationships.
yeah, they are, and like I've been busting my ass out here since I got here. You know, just
Oh,
trying to
good.
make sure
Good
I
for
can get
you.
in rooms and studios and
Yeah.
being like, put me on the mic. I can write for you guys. Let's go. Like I can do a feature. You know. And I'm like this like girl who's had like no experience and no connection into music. So for them to even have like any kind of faith or belief in me and to support me
It's
like that,
huge.
I really do appreciate these people.
And it's not like normal art. These are like literally top 1% of artists. Like, can you call all them? Do you have them all on your phone?
I could, yes.
That's
but
such a dope fucking flex.
I
There we
mean,
go.
I'm not a flexy person.
No, that's why
but-
I'm flexing for you.
Thanks, I appreciate
Because
it.
I caught
Bring
that when
everywhere.
you were like, yeah, a lot of these features are A&R, not mine. And I was
Mhm.
like, she does not know these motherfuckers, but you do. That's so
Yeah.
dope. That's so dope.
Thanks.
Well, I want to give you a gift. There's a part I do. Every artist I interview, I give
Mhm.
every artist an album.
Mhm.
I have like a CD collection.
Oh, nice.
So, I couldn't actually find who you were inspired by. Because
Right.
every interview, if they ask who you're inspired by, you're like, my mom, my family, or like
Yeah.
myself.
Right.
So I was like, shit. But then, you're from St. Louis.
Mhm.
So I thought maybe this album meant something to you. Nelly,
Nellyville.
Nellyville. I don't know if it did.
Yeah, facts. I definitely wore a Band-Aid right here on my eye
Yes,
for a few
yes.
years. I did it. It was at least like 1 year in high school. Everyone's like, they kept trying to take it off. They're like, oh my God, are you okay?
Wait,
like,
you
what
like
happened?
every day you would put
Yeah,
that on?
every day. I'd wear it like here, or I'd wear it on my eyebrow.
Because
like,
Nelly or TLC?
I just thought it was
like,
cool.
Yeah, it was.
TLC,
Yeah.
Nelly, honestly, My Chemical Romance as well. But like, this is the big inspo right
So
here.
you really, but this is true. You wore a Band-Aid at
I
school.
did. I
People
did.
must have thought. I mean, you've always been off the wall, right?
Yeah, they
So-
thought I was crazy, but
Yeah.
I mean, it
I didn't
worked
want to
out.
use the word crazy, but yeah,
Right.
people must have looked at you like you're fucking
Right.
crazy.
I mean, it worked. I really appreciate this. Damn.
Of course,
I have
that's
a
the one
small
that
CD
has,
collection.
huh?
Said I have a small CD collection.
It just got one CD
Air Force
bigger.
Ones?
Yeah,
You
and
would
the
go
song
crazy
with
to that
Kelly's
song.
on there, I think.
It
The one
is.
where he texted her on a Google sheet.
Dilemma.
Yeah, the
This is
whole
fire.
video. Yeah, but
Listen.
anyways, St. Louis.
Yes.
You're very like homegrown, I would say, just from listening to your
believe so.
music. And I think St. Louis played a large role. Just you not being from a major town,
Mhm.
I think is why you don't look like anybody else or kind of sound like anybody else.
Right.
If
I
that makes
appreciate
sense.
that. You know,
Would
I
you
don't
say?
look like anyone back home or everywhere that I move in.
Yeah.
It just like I feel like it always was a difficulty for me because I couldn't really find a place to fit in, and it wasn't until I was older that I realized like, oh, like I wasn't supposed to. Like
Exactly.
it's kind of made me who I am. So
Yeah.
I'm appreciative for everything.
Absolutely. Well, you're very spiritual as well.
Yes.
I mean, I was reading online. I kept seeing the word like witchcraft, but then I read the interviews, and I'm like, no, you're just spiritual. You have a lot of like you have a lot of belief in your body, and I'm also a firm believer that like we can heal ourselves
Absolutely.
with our mental mind state.
Yeah.
Are you like you don't take medicine often? I can imagine.
No, I try to stay away from any kind of like big pharma. I mean, I feel like majority of the stuff that we intake every day, from our air to the water and the food and just like media, like everything's polluted. So, I mean, and I'm not, you know, like, what's the word? Self-righteous. You know, I don't think that there's one right way to do things, but if I could, you know, minimize the damage in little ways that I can manage personally, like that's gonna be it. Like, I don't eat meat. Like, I eat fish occasionally. Like,
You say, wait, you don't eat meat?
I haven't eaten meat in
I
like
thought
12
you said
years.
you donate meat.
Oh,
I was like, what the fuck you donate meat to? Okay, you don't.
we can talk about this here.
So you don't eat meat. Has that been your whole life?
Just like 12 years.
Oh shit, yeah.
12. I was
Long
20,
time.
22 now, so almost 13.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Vegan? Or just like-
pescatarian. So I eat fish occasionally, like
Okay.
super picky on fish, and it's like rare, but
Okay.
I do that. I mean, I don't really trust big pharma.
I mean, who does?
Like they're trying to take us out, right?
I never trusted big pharma. Like the last
So-
people I trust is the medical industry.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, with my brand, Naked Voodoo, like I sell herbal pre-rolls or like teas, and it's actually got like all the stuff that's like in these medications, like the natural things, like for example, valerian root is in a lot of like painkillers and anti-anxiety or anxiety
Yeah.
medications. Like I have that in a pure form, and if you grind it up and steep it in a tea or smoke it,
You're
it'll
selling
give
like.
you the same.
I didn't know that you have a whole line of like
Yeah.
healing. I don't want to say health products. Healing products.
Yeah, healing products. Yeah, I've got a
Wow.
bunch of that stuff.
That's
so.
super dope.
Thanks.
Well, I also read. So okay, this is gonna be random, but my name is My Wand. So like My Wand, that word was used in Harry Potter a lot.
Yeah.
And I read that you said you've done spells in a sense.
Yes.
Do you have a
spell work.
wand? Do you have like a?
I do have a wand.
have a
but
wand?
I have a wand. I
Oh
feel
my
like
gosh!
have
So you
to
can
have a
say
wand.
you have my wand, like
I
my
do.
wand. You
My
use
wand.
my name probably organically every once in a while.
Should have brought you a wand. I didn't know.
You should have brought
Next
me a
time.
wand, right?
Next time.
But like, do you? I don't mean to go too far into the spirituality side, but when I read you do spells, what does that mean? Is that like a joking thing, or do you like you really, or is it just like as simple as doing like meditating, yoga? Would those be considered spells?
I mean, like, in different practices in different religions, like everyone has like their quote unquote spells, and it's really just things that you do, words that you say, candles, herbs, oils that you use in certain repetitions to be manifesting or to connect, like in different religions, like with like your elders or your ancestors. And people don't realize that you do this every day. I mean, if you look
Absolutely.
down through history, like blowing out birthday candles, that stemmed from witchcraft.
Really?
On your birthday, yeah, it was, what's another one? Like saying bless you after you sneeze. That was a form of spell work back, I think it was like the Greeks or the Romans. It was to bless you from removing all of the negative spirits and energies from your body.
Oh, shit, I never knew that.
We do it every day. I mean, even Catholicism, like you have like the sitting and the standing and the prayers and the chants and blowing out the candles and the incense. Like we all use
Yeah.
certain things. So, yeah, we've got those traditions and we've got the spells for
Interesting.
almost anything.
So witchcraft just gets a bad rap. It's just like the
Yes.
connotation behind it. We all think of like the Salem witch trials.
Right.
Well, I thought that was interesting, just how you even embrace that. You know, you're like explaining that to people.
Right. I mean, I feel like it's a big part of like my culture. Like my
Yeah.
family on my dad's side is West African and Haitian, you know. So voodoo and hoodoo and voodoo, like that has like big parts to play in, you
Yeah.
know, just like my black culture and my history.
Absolutely, and you have Creole in you, right? So I know that plays a big role in that too.
Yeah. So it does suck to see it get a bad rep, and people are very wary of it, and especially, you know, even in here, like in the Americanized black community, it does get like shit on, but
I'm sure.
you know, like we all don't realize that these are practices that we do every day, no matter what your religion.
I had no
or
clue.
practice.
Everyone's blowing out a birthday candle. So
Right?
according to that math, we have all performed witchcraft in some sense,
Yeah.
you know? Well, I think that's dope. You're definitely going to change the mold or the way that people look at spirituality. And I think that's awesome. That's kind of like what Nipsey wasn't approaching it in that sense, but he was all about like healing yourself the right way and
Right, as you should.
what you put inside your body.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, 2019, you had the album done, which makes me feel like you've been working on some music.
I've been working my butt off. COVID had me locked inside my house and inside my head, and I'm like, I have to create. I've got to create. So I created music from like a whole new perspective, and especially in the mindset that I felt like in the beginning, I felt like it was over for me as soon as it started, you know, like coming from St. Louis, Missouri, and like a household like 7, me being like the oldest of 7, like single parent income, like having no connection to music. I didn't even know how music got on the radio. Like I had no kind of, you know, guarantee that this is gonna work for me, and like busting my butt and moving myself out to New York and just connecting and getting myself here to LA, signing to a major record label, and then it's just like stop. Like, done. I was like, oh, I'm done. Like I'm toast. Like I did it and it's over. Yeah. So I'm like, I have to create music like now from just a perspective of what do I want to hear? Like, you know, right now. Like what's gonna heal me? And singing and making music does. So I'm very excited to drop a lot of this music.
I'm sure.
Some of the songs were on the project, and that's why they stay so close to my heart. Yeah.
Some of the ones on Get Rich were recorded in the past 2 years?
Bloom.
Cool, very
Bloom
cool.
for sure is one of my favorite ones. I feel like there's a lot of songs on the project that were just like pure emotion.
Oh, it's very emotional.
Yeah,
the project. We also had a lot of fun on it. The video with you and Trippy is super dope. You guys looked like you had a good time.
Yeah, that was a fun video. That was a 17, 18-hour day.
Damn.
Yeah, he was great. He stayed for way longer than what.
Well, it seems like you guys are cool. Like, I watched this interview with I don't remember who it was with. It was just you and someone speaking behind the camera. And I don't know, maybe not anymore. This is probably like a year ago, but I felt like you and Trippy were like dating or like had a crush on each other or something.
I don't know.
No?
No,
Okay.
I don't know.
I wonder, Trippy, if I get a chance to ask him. No, just because you see it on the camera. You can tell when two people are awkwardly next to each other versus two people who like are comfortable next to each other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. At the time, like the feature was just so. It was so easy. It was just. It made sense. Like I had been around him. I had heard his music. You know, and he was one of the. I would think one of the first people that I met out here too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was just good energy.
You guys fit as far as like you're both different. You know what I mean? The way like when I went to your album release party, that could have very easily been a Trippie Redd album release party with just the different elements of tattoo artists, strippers,
right.
Even the way you had that whole white walls and you were like in front of it with the projector.
Yeah.
It was really dope. But anyway, I wanted to ask, I thought maybe, you know, I feel like it's gonna come out in a couple years, the truth behind you and Trippie. We'll see, but no.
Oh.
I'm also just like making up stuff. Really, I have no merit behind that at all. I just saw your smile in the interview and I was like, I feel like there was something there, but who knows? We'll see. Trippie, we're gonna have to get that from you. So anyhow, Get Rich and Cry Trying is out now.
It is out now.
The video for Stroke is out. The video for Swimming is out.
It is.
Do you have any more videos coming from the project?
I do. This Friday, the music video for Bloom is dropping.
Oh.
Yeah, I've also got one for I Eat Boys and one for 414. So it's like a visual project.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's almost every song, because there's what,
it's every
7?
song, I think, except for the intro and outro.
So you have basically a video for every song.
Pretty much, yeah.
How fucking dope. And how hands-on are you with these videos?
Oh, very. I mean, like I'm there with the director. Like the directors are my homies too. So it's like, it's really just kind of like a collaborative effort. But I make sure I send them photos and videos. I'm like, I see it like this. Help me make it bigger, you know?
Yeah.
And they never disappoint.
That's dope. You guys have a great chemistry.
Thanks.
So far, the 2 videos I've seen from the project, they fit too. They fit your whole look and aesthetic.
I appreciate that.
So that video will be out, you said, Friday?
Yeah, this Friday.
And then the rest of the year, I imagine, is just really focusing on this album and kind of making sure everybody hears it, or do you intend on dropping more this year?
Definitely, you know, making sure everyone can hear and see this project, dropping the music videos. This is my baby, and it's I'm very excited. I want to keep it pushing, you know, through summer.
Yeah.
But I do have new singles.
I'm sure. Wait though, because the project to me is so good and it's so mature that I don't think people are gonna hear it once and fully appreciate it.
Oh,
like even me, when I listened to it this morning, I knew in the back of my head I need to go back and hear it again. So you know, like Kendrick does a great job of every time he drops an album, that motherfucker lets it marinate for like 5 years.
Oh, 100%.
Don't wait 5 years, but you know what I mean. Definitely, I think this year is the year of Get Rich and Cry.
Yeah.
Trying.
Well, you know, it's all like feeling and just I want it to like you said, marinate and kind of settle in. And whenever the time's right, that's whenever the new music comes.
Very exciting. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Where
you.
can we find you on socials and everything?
You can find me at IV4 on Instagram, Twitter, your girl IV on TikTok. Kind of popped on TikTok. I don't know how that happened. Small flex.
I can see that. I can see that.
Thanks. Yeah, so you can find me there, and all my streaming is IV4.
Okay. How do we get the name, by the way?
IV4?
Yeah.
Ivy is actually like my real name.
IVY?
Yeah, IVY. And then the
Okay.
artist name is just IV. It's my lucky number. It's a number of wholeness and completion. And the tarot card, it's the Hanged Man, which is like a symbol for like artists and like a willing
Should've known,
sacrifice.
because like 4, I remember Capital Steez is a rapper who was really spiritual, big on the number 4, like it represented everything
It's
for
a good
him.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Chinese people hate the number 4.
Oh.
If I'm correct. I know I used to work in Irvine. I had a cell phone store, and you couldn't give a Chinese person the number 4.
Really?
They thought it was bad luck. It was the exact opposite. They like
Dang.
8s. So.
My streaming in China right
Yeah,
now.
there's no way they're streaming you in China, girl. They're like, oh, that's just bad luck.
Right.
You might have to think of a Chinese moniker.
Okay.
You know?
Different alias whenever I go to China.
Yeah, like do the Roman numeral for 8 and then put 8 and just
Smart,
W,
smart.
you know? Well, anyway, this is my wand, IV4. Everybody go listen to Get Rich and Cry Trying right now. Video for, you said, which one's dropping?
Bloom.
Bloom.
This
Dropping Friday. And go watch Stroke and Swimming, almost blank. Out now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I
Of
really
course.
appreciate it.
Alrighty, guys. Peace.
Bye.